Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how I made my track Paradox, which is the last track from the Paradox EP, which I just dropped a week or maybe a week or two ago. And yeah, so I recommend you go check that out if you want to hear how the track sounds before getting into this, and maybe check out some of the other tracks in there as well. So this track here was, I gotta admit, it was a bit kind of rushed. Well, I only spent, 5 hours on it, I think. Well, almost 6 hours, but like, so yeah, this track kind of just came about me just trying to just do whatever I wanted, really. Like, I was just going for a Flume vibe, I guess. So the first thing that I really started off with was the sample, which is an old 80s sample from a song called Topaz. So let me just take all the processing off of it, and this is how it sounds, the part that I used. So obviously I'm not going to be able to put this on streaming platforms now, but whatever. I actually had this just downloaded already, and I'm like, oh well, this sounds interesting, I might try to do something with it. So the first thing that I did with it, well, I'm going to start off with the intro. So I have that same sample, but it's actually pitched up. It's pitched up 12 semitones. Okay, anyway, so it's just that sample that's pitched down 12 semitones, normalized, and it's got half time on it. So it's playing at half the speed. So it's pretty much playing at half 130 beats per minute, which is the tempo of the project. And it's got some reverb on there, which gets automated, and delay, which also gets automated. As you can see, these two automations here. And the halftime cuts off immediately when the vocal comes in. So I'm just gonna start off with this weird bass thing. So this is just a cymatics preset, nothing really fancy about it. And okay, so I didn't touch this preset at all, pretty much. And did I put any post on it? I put some Fruity Wave Shaper on it to make it a bit more beefier. Seems like I EQ'd out the highs. Yeah, because those highs are really bad. And I boosted the bass frequencies a bit, so it has a bit more bass in it. And don't really ask why I like the triplet notes in here. Well, I don't even know what these are. 8 notes, but it just kind of made the bass sound totally different, because before it's kind of just one. It's more of a pluck. So I added a bit more of a texture, a bit more of a gritty texture on top of it when I went and made the notes like that. Okay, so next I'm gonna leave the vocals for last, I guess. Okay, and then I have an Ambience here, which is just very background, and this has got a bit of processing on it too. So this has got a low cut, which I don't really need, but it's good just to have it. And this is a gate that's just going at 16th notes, and then project auto-saving itself, and it's got tempo, which is a distortion plugin, but as you can see it's turned down a lot, so it's not really interfering. It's just to give it a bit more of a grit as usual. And then we have the vocals just from the cymatics pack, nothing too interesting here. I kind of just thought, why not just throw some vocals on it, I guess. So processing on the vocals. Where is the vocals? Okay, so there's quite a lot of processing on here. So there's OTT, reverb, an EQ to cut up the lows, and delay, and tempo again. I really like using tempo for vocal chops. It's really good for vocal chops. And a soft clipper, just so I make sure it's not going over 0 dB, which is a good thing to do. Okay, so that's the first part. Let's intro done. And then we got a white noise riser going straight into the build here. Okay, so now we get into the resampling stuff. So yeah, this is actually a pretty fun build. This is actually probably one of my favorite builds I've ever made. So I have the main drop drums just going here, but they kind of cut off. And then I have it filled up the empty spaces with these resampled bits. which I use in the drop later on, and I also have this pad going, an ARP, and Ambience as well, and obviously a riser going, and a vocal chopping off and cutting out. Then it just pulls up, and I have the main bass down here that's in the drop, just going up with an EQ here. So yep, that's that. White noise. Okay, now we're into the drop, which is probably the part that you've been waiting for. Okay, so I'm first going to go into all the resampling part here. This is going to take a bit of hard to understand because it's not the serum preset or anything. So the way I got this main sound here, which was originally this. So the way I got this sound, please ignore how annoying my mouse is, and so I got the main parts of the intro without the vocal, and what I did was I went right on the master and I put glitch 2 on it, and I think it was a reverser actually, or it could have been a gate. Please ignore my mouse here. And I think I set it to 16th notes. Yeah, so I have this, and then afterwards I exported that, and then I put a gate on it, so that made it even more choppy. Oh my gosh, please, I'm sorry about this. And I don't know what I did. You can tell it doesn't really sound like that because I don't really have what I made before, but that's what the gist of it is. And where's the drop? Where did it go? Okay, here it is. And I have it layered with another one, which is a bit off beat, which gives it, I don't know, a bit of a groove. And this one is, oh, there's nothing. Oh, this changed? No, that one is the lower octave, and this one is a higher octave. So it's just like putting them on top of each other. Let's check the processing right for it. Okay, so I have reverb, I have a tape stop that comes in right at the end, and I have reason rack here. Oh, this is my little secret technique, but this is not being used anymore because I exported it. But what I did was, it's just this little automation here. Actually, it's still being used. So this is my little technique that I didn't really want to share with anyone, but I'm just going to do it anyway, because I noticed that artists like Dvath and Mahia were using it already. So it's just something I kind of discovered when I was making traps. So I have this this delay here, and I'm automating this time knob, which is like a really weird thing to do, but what it does is that it gives it like a turntable effect, that it kind of feels like you have it on the DJ thing and you're turning it around. So, and it changes the pitch and stuff, so it does this. That's all it really does, and that's all I pretty much did. That's like the only place I used it in the whole track. So yeah, and then it's just a low cut, because that's what you need. And then this other one here, is it, oh my gosh, there's a lot of crap going here. So what did I pitch it up 7. So if you want things to harmonize with each other, or want things to still work with the root key, you can pitch it up to 7th. I think that's what the relative key would be. I don't know, I'm not that good with music theory, but I think that's what the relative key would be, or it just works with the bass line if you pitch anything up by 7. So that's what I did. So it's pitched up by 7. It's moved up 24 as well, so it's really high pitched. And this one, I think this is a reverser. So like, remember how I put on the master the reverser? So this is like a glitch to reverser, which is probably on like triplet notes or whatever. And yeah, so it's just a little fill. So that's the A part of the first drop. Now we'll get into the vocal chops here. Okay, so this is just, you can see in the playlist, just really simple, me chopping up the vocal. Yeah, and I have the reverb being automated, because why not? And I have my vocal processing chain here, which I showed before, which is OTT, temper, delay, whatever I already told you, and that's it. And then we have another ambience here. Not doing much, but okay, I'll get into the drums now. So I'll solo the drums quick so you can hear them by themselves. Okay, so I have quite a hard hitting kick going on here. This has got 3D wave shaper on it, and I did the thing I don't normally do. I kind of just made a little notch here, which makes it add even more grit. And this is just a kick sample from the My Drum Kit 2 pack. Yeah, and then I got this other snare here, which I think I probably should have made it louder. It's got no processing on it. But the interesting part of this is the MIDI, how the pitch, I made the pitch change a lot just to give it a bit of unpredictability, just to make it go crazy, because like, I was going for a Flume vibe, and if you've listened to his, you know, his famous mixtape, Hi, This Is Flume, and tracks like, I don't know, pretty much every single track on there, he just goes crazy with the snares and stuff on there, and does unconventional patterns, so I thought I was going to try that as well. And now we got 2-step high pattern. Easy as, nothing fancy. And then later on I add a ride in on top of another ride, which is yeah, this ride is also panned. This one was a bit annoying actually, but I panned this one at random intervals, so you can kind of, if you're wearing headphones, you can probably hear it going left and right. And then later on I add a ride that's always in the middle. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so we'll go into 808 now. Okay, so this is the patch. I don't really know what's going on with this patch. This is like a really unconventional thing as well. Normally I just get a sine wave and white noise, and I put OTT and distorted together, but I decided to do something a bit different this time. So I got the sine wave, the analog BD sine wave, which is the one I always use. It seems like I did the distortion and OTT trick, but I also added a Combs filter, which is being automated, which is very weird, a tiny bit. Sorry about that. Oh, my camera just died. But what I was just talking about was this 808 patch. So I was just saying how it's really unconventional that I had the Combs filter being automated, and yeah, so it's a pretty weird stuff. And for post, it's just got a 3D wave shaper on it. My favorite plugin for basses and stuff, because it's just a really nice and easy way to give some grit to something. Okay, what else have we got to go over in the drop? That's pretty much it in this first part. Okay, so in the second part, it's got this little fill here, and then what happens to the vocal chops is that they get turned up 7 semitones. So what I said before was that I think it's the relative key of the root note, so that's why it still works, and it gives it a really nice way of giving it variation instead of just pitching it higher or pitching it lower. It's because that's boring. So, and then I have these ambiences. They now go 12 cents up, and they're also doing a 7th. And then this one comes as well. So they're now making a chord, which adds a lot of stuff to the drop. Now, the bass in this part sounds a lot different, as you can tell. This has got no post-processing on it either, because it's the same thing that I exported already, so it already has all the stuff on it. And the only thing I did was I reversed it. I reversed it and turned it down 12 semitones. Bam. There's variation for you. And what else have I got here? I got this guitar here. Just random fill. I think it's a bit cringe now that I think about it. Okay, so that's the first drop completed. And afterwards, also, instead of it stuttering on this note, when it ends, when it goes to the next bar, instead of doing that, it goes, so it kind of changes the mood of it and kind of says, oh well, this is kind of the end now, because that's a different tone, I guess, because it was still adding a bit of tension here. That now it's saying it's finally letting go of the tension and it's going into the breakdown. So this breakdown, I actually didn't think it was a good idea to add the vocals in straight away. I could have done it, but I decided just to cut it off because I was watching a video, I think it was a Barely Alive video, and they were saying that it's not always good to have vocals like straight after the drop, because it's going to be harder for DJs to mix it. So I kind of threw that out of the window, but anyway, I kind of pulled back the first phrase and I made it go on the Damn I Hate It part. And I've added a few new elements here. I've got the synth here, which pretty fire. I got any post-processing on it, let me check. It's actually not in the mixer at all. Is it not even being sidechained? It's not even being sidechained. Whoops. I don't know if that's a mistake, but it's a Citrus preset here. Citrus is awesome. Is it an ARP? No, it's not an ARP, it's just a plug. And I've got the chords playing, and I've got them strummed. So if you press Alt-S on your keyboard, then you can strum things. So I did that to, you know, give it a bit of a unique feel. And I actually am so embarrassed about that not being sidechained, but whatever. And got the ambiences going in here again. And I've got my signature rees in here now. And it's the same preset that I showed in the Rift video, where I broke down Rifts. This is literally the same thing. Awesome preset. And I have a pad, the ARP going again. Why do I always think it's a pad? Oh, I actually didn't show you the patch. It's actually a massive preset. I don't use massive that often, but it's actually just a pluck. It's just a pluck, but I went in the back and I enabled the default arpeggiator, because before it was just chords. And I made it arpeggiate down. And bam, there you go. And this one's just got a low cut on it as well, just to keep it simple. And that's it for the breakdown, I think. And yeah, so it kind of has a bit of pauses to keep the energy. Where I added this fill here, which was the fill from last time over here, but just chopped up. And then it goes straight into the next build up with the reverb increasing on the vocal, but the basses in here are different. This is like the second drop is my favorite part of the song. So I have the main bass here from last time, but the difference is I turned up the pogo on it, and what pogo does, it kind of like changes the pitch of it, so it kind of makes it go like whoa, like that. And over the top of it, I have the bass that comes in the second drop cut up, which is pretty loud. And then I have more chops down here, more crazy chops. And then instead of going like the last build up where it just had the drum pattern going, this one goes full on 4 to the floor. It's kind of signature that it's going to be switch up. And then I have the bass in the second drop, low cut it up. And oh yeah, also the vocal, I made a duplicate of it and I turned it up 7 semitones, I think. It's very weird. I don't know, I think it's 7 semitones, but either way it's harmonizing with it just to make a bit of a difference. And then we got my favorite part, the second drop. So yeah, this part was, to some people it might seem lazy to do 4 on the floor. It certainly makes me angry in some songs when I hear it, but I just decided to go all out and really try techno. I've been kind of dabbling with techno and a few other unreleased stuff that I've got, but I thought I'm going to try the gang, and yeah, it actually saw the light of day, which is good. So I have this bass here, which is inspired by systems, I guess. It kind of sounds like systems. So I guess I'll start with it. For once, it's actually a serum preset, a serum sound instead of it being like 600 resamples. So what's going on in this patch is that I have a saw, the default saw turned up on the unison a bit, the detune is a bit down so it's not so crazy. And then the next saw is turned up and it's playing the 7 semitones up, and it's also 1 semitone up as well. And I've got distortion, delay, which is very essential, I think, when you're making techno stuff, because the delay really adds a groove to it, and also reverb and stuff. And I have a reverb filter going on here, which kind of gives it its sound, because without it, it's really crunchy and hard on the ear. So actually I'm not automating anything in this reverb filter, I just have the cutoff a bit up and resonance up, and yeah. I don't really know what this filter is doing. Oh yeah, this filter is being automated by this, which is probably not on beats, but it's just a little groovy LFO pattern, and it's also playing quarter triplet, so it's like really like off time, and it really gives it a good groove. And post-processing wise, there's nothing on it. There's just the low cut. And now I guess I can go into the sub. I'll solo the sub, which is, I wanted to actually, I would have normally done it in the same serum preset, but I decided to separate them because I was doing more processing stuff to the other one that I didn't want to be done to the sub. I could have just used direct out, I guess, but so this is this exact same thing being automated and with OTT on it, but post-processing it's got a bit more stuff. Oh, it's actually got nothing. Okay then. So that's that. Okay, and at the start of this drop I have the main drop sound from the first drop, which actually sounded very cool, I think, because if you listen to most techno tracks that have loud reverb stuff in the back, that's kind of like giving an awesome feel. So I put that in there, that's being sidechained. And this sound here is a little cool thing I thought. Yeah, just add a bit of groove to it. Offbeat. What it is just this sound I found in the deadmau5 sample pack. It's pitched to be in key because originally it obviously wasn't in key, so I had to move it up 2 semitones, so it was in the key of D. And I pitched it up 12 semitones, and then later on I had the ride. and then vocal chops come in. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I'm just gonna start with vocal chops. It's just a different pattern, just a different pattern. And it sounds pretty nice with the sidechain on it. Okay, and now I have the rest of the drums going on. I'll solo the drums because it's pretty much when they all come out. I have a normal hi-hat going, normal clap. Then this loop comes in. And also the bass also goes up an octave. Which is not too hard to explain, you should figure out what that means. You should probably know what that means by now. Here I have another reverb sound from the first drop. Just added a variation. And now, which is like the part I added in a bit later, but like what really finished it off for me, I just threw the sample in there. I had no idea what was going on. I threw the sample in there with Glitch 2 on it. So, where is it? I have Glitch 2 on it, and Glitch 2 is really my go-to plugin for like, you know, obviously glitchy stuff. So, reverse it, done in triplet 8 notes. So, that's what's giving it this awesome... It literally changes the chord progression, and like you can tell it's not even on time. I was literally just copying and pasting it at random intervals. I don't know what was going on. Some of it kind of sounds a bit off key, but that really adds to it to make it sound better in my opinion. And later on, we're getting to the end of the track now, which is the vocal chops go down an octave. And these sounds over here, which were normally up an octave, go down an octave. Let me check the post-processing for this as well. I think it's just got reverb on it, but let me check. It's got a low cut, OTT, delay, and reverb. Also, the sound goes back to the lower octave from the beginning, the main bass. And then it has a stop here. And it's back to just a sub, just to bring it to an outro, just a sub in there. And most of the hats here have disappeared. Yep, then I start removing elements one by one, which is in pretty much every single progressive house / techno song ever made. And then I switch the place of the sound here to add a bit of more variation. And also this triplet thing gets turned down an octave as well. And that's the track. Over here, if you listen to the track, then you know that I actually resampled the first drop and I put it up a few semitones and made the cutoff go down. I accidentally deleted the MP3 file that I used for this, so it's not showing up now. But it's easy to explain. Well, I might as well get it in here and tell you. So what it was, I moved it up pretty much, what was it, 3 semitones? Yep, moved it up 3 semitones, I think. And I just played the drop here. I did this, and I made a filter just go and drag it out. It was just doing that. It's kind of a lazy intro, but why not? It's alright. So that's it. Well, for mastering, if you guys want to know what I do on my master chain, I don't do much on my master. I used to put limiters on it, but I learned that limiters really can mess up your track if you don't know how to use them properly, so I gave up on using them. I just put a pretty soft clipper to keep it under 0 dB, and I put a G clip at, oh, this one's actually only at 1 decibel, so I normally put it at 1.5, but this track is a very loud track in nature, and I don't want to boost it too much because then it will start sounding distorted. But as you can see from the waveform, I did a pretty great job on mixing this. It's really fat, so that's good. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. If you want to see more videos like these, please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'll put some more music out in the future, so look forward for that, guys.